Well, the Seattle Seahawks have a big game on Monday Night Football against the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's hear it from Drew. Do you think we have a chance in this game?
Yeah, jumping right into the question, Levi. I think we
Yeah.
do. The Eagles are scuffling for sure. The Seahawks are as well, but we've played good teams, and I think we have actually fared pretty well against those good teams, all things considered. I've said this whole year, the Eagles, I think, are quite overrated. I think they're starting to fall down to earth a little bit, and people are realizing that. But this Eagles team is definitely beatable. Jalen Hurts really hasn't had that good of a season when you look at the numbers and just from the eye test, he relies a lot on the running game with DeAndre Swift and those two outside wide receivers in AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. They're really carrying the ship with them. And if you have a couple of good corners like the Seahawks do to lock them up and have capable safeties, which kind of iffy if the Seahawks do or not, but if they're there for when, so they don't get beat over the top, and your cornerbacks can kind of watch the medium passing routes, you can shut down this Philadelphia Eagles defense. I mean offense, and then on the defensive side of the ball, the Seahawks haven't had a great offense. I know, but the Eagles, they've been laying up points lately, and they have arguably the best defensive line in the game. They have they have nice corners, they have good safeties. It'll be a tough matchup defensively for the Seahawks. I mean, offensively on the defense for the Seahawks, but we'll see. I think the Seahawks definitely do have a chance. I think our cornerbacks are going to keep us in this game. I think our defense is going to play really well, and it's going to be up to the Seahawks offense to get it done. I'm not sure, Levi, is Geno Smith, is he playing this one?
Supposedly he is going to play. I think that's like 90%. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I knew Pete Carroll early in the week was still iffy on it. So, um, yeah, I think the Seahawks have a good chance here, Levi. I will say though, if we lose here, it's it's looking kind of rough. We got to win three straight after that. So this is a big one.
Yeah, well, the good news is the Bengals, Jake Browning, he took care of business and beat the Vikings overtime victory. That was not something I
Huge,
expected.
huge.
The Vikings got off to a nice lead and Bengals came back. So that's really good actually for our playoff chances. So
What's
we
with these
do,
Saturday games?
I don't know. The NFL really likes to put games on Saturdays now, I guess. It's
They're
because
starting.
college is done. So, but Drew, I actually disagree with what you said there about the Eagles defense and the Seahawks offense. So from
Wow.
what I've seen this year, the Eagles, they have a terrible secondary, right? I mean, Sam Howell was throwing for 400 yards against their secondary. Dak Prescott lit them up. Tua lit them up. Everyone lights up the Eagles secondary this year. So I actually think that Geno is going to be able to put up some good numbers against that secondary, especially with the receiving core we have. I think this could be a high scoring game, but I think the key to our victory, Drew, is this. The Eagles run the ball down people's throats because they've got Jalen,
I
they've
know.
got DeAndre Swift, they've got Kenneth Gainwell. They are a running machine, and they have one of the best O lines. We have struggled against teams with good running games. Look at what the Ravens, look at what the Cowboys, you look at what just recently the 49ers, look at what these teams with good running games have done to us. It's been pretty sad to watch. So I think that's going to be the key. I think it's can we stop their running game? Because I think if we can win. I think if we can't, it's going to be a high scoring loss.
Yeah, I watched that Eagles Chiefs game in the entirety there, and Chiefs put up 17 points. I know the Chiefs have been struggling a little bit, so I know recently the Eagles have been getting a lot of points, but they've been giving up points against the Cowboys, one of the most dynamic offenses, the Bills, who obviously still really good, the Niners. I can't fault the Eagles that much for giving up points to those teams.
But when you look at what Sam Howell did to their secondary, I think Geno can do that too. I think,
Sam Howell kind of cooked our team too.
well, Geno outplayed Sam Howell in the game. So
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, this is going to be
I think I feel like the score is probably somewhere like 20, 27, 24, somewhere in that range. I think it's generally going to be high score.
I want to say 27-24 in today's NFL is that high scoring, Levi. I would say that's a pretty average
Pretty
football
average.
game.
Okay.
I'm
That's
gonna
fair.
go, yeah, somewhere in the low 20s. I think you're actually not that far off with your scoring, despite our ideologies being slightly
Yeah.
different. Levi, what do you think your three biggest predictions slash bold predictions are going to be?
Three bold predictions. Well, I'm gonna say if I am predicting us to score 24, That means I'm predicting 3 touchdowns, and I'm gonna predict that Geno is going to throw all 3 of those.
Okay.
I think we're gonna see a 3 touchdown pass game from Geno. He's coming out the fire and a passion, and he sees that these fans are saying, maybe we should start Drew Lock, but Geno
Yeah.
doesn't want to start Drew Lock. Geno starting Drew Lock would be disastrous for him because he wants to be the starter next season. And if you get benched for Drew Lock, then all of a sudden the conversation it becomes, is it going to be Jaden Daniels or Michael Penix or Bo Nix, whoever we draft? Is that going to be them on day one? If Penix
Yeah.
plays out this season and balls out, makes the playoffs, he's our week 1 starter next year. I think that's pretty obvious. And so he's playing for his job right now. He's going to come out with a passion and get 3 touchdowns. Next bold prediction, I guess this is a bad bold prediction because I'm going to boldly predict that the Seahawks will not surpass 100 yards of rushing. This is something we have struggled with all season. I think it continues against what is a pretty solid defensive line for Philadelphia. And finally, prediction number 3, I think the Eagles defense, I think the Seahawks defense is going to force at least 2 turnovers. I think one of them is going to be a fumble.
Nice.
I see this as a game where our defense is going to be able to turn the ball over. The Eagles do struggle with fumbles. DeAndre Swift and Jalen Hurts have both fumbled multiple times this season, so it's definitely in the realm of possibility that you can see a guy like Jordan Brooks, maybe Leonard Williams, knock it out of Jalen Hurts on maybe a strip sack kind of a play. I think that's going to happen in this game, and I think it's going to be really close. I'm going 27-24 Eagles just because I don't want to get my hopes up that much. But it's a very small line. The Vegas actually likes the Seahawks a lot in this game. The national media actually likes the Seahawks quite a bit. The Eagles are kind of
I don't
reeling.
know that one. I don't
So,
know.
well, I listened to a couple of hours actually of content today from Fox Sports
Wow, look
and
at you go. I have some.
ESPN,
I'll
and
just get
these
right into that.
guys, yeah,
You say 27-24. I'll do my first 2 bold takes and then I'll get to my third. Um, my first bold take is I think Kenneth Walker is gonna have himself a day. I
okay,
think he I think he's going to be able to get outside, get some. The Eagles' defensive line is really good down the middle, but towards the outside, and their linebackers aren't, they aren't, I wouldn't say the fastest linebackers in the world. I think he'll be able to get an edge, get down the sideline. I think he'll go for a touchdown of 40 or more yards. I think he'll break one out.
okay,
My second one is I like where your head's at with the Seahawks defense creating plays. I'm gonna go. We finally get back on pace with the pass rush. I think we sack 3 or more times, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it has been recently for the Seahawks.
yeah,
And my third is the Seahawks win. That's my bold prediction. It's pretty
wow, all
bold. I think
right,
it's pretty bold because, again,
yeah,
I, I'm on an article right now. A few different guys from NBC Sports and NFL.com. I mean, these guys are just carbon copy pasted of the same. It's just the same thing. Like Tom Blair from NFL.com, 27-21. The other guy, 27-21. Dan Parr from NFL.com, 27-24. Brett Cosme, 24-21. These are all the exact same scores. 28-24 Eagles, 24-21 Eagles, 24-21 Eagles. That is 7 different quote unquote professionals all picking the Eagles to win close in the mid to high 20s. That's remarkable. And you have the same thing. What do you have?
yeah,
27-21?
27-24, yeah.
27-24. You would agree with Dan Parr from
Oh,
NFL.com. That's
wow.
Eagles 27-24. That's 7 professionals that all had the Eagles winning by a close game in the 20s. So I think it's a bold prediction. Seahawks win in the low 20s, 24-21. It'll be close. I
Okay.
think walk-off field goal. Myers gets back on track,
All
shows why
right.
he's one of the best kickers through the first 8
I
weeks
could
of the
live with
season.
that.
Kind of been falling off. So we'll see. The Seahawks need this one. And the Eagles, I don't say they need it because they're going to probably make the playoffs no matter what, but they still want to compete with Dallas for their division. They got to start, Dallas has the tiebreaker. They got to pick up wins against bad teams like the Seahawks.
Yeah, it's that division looks like it's gonna come down to the wire. That the Eagles, if they win out, they win it. If they lose one game, then Dallas has a decent shot. So they're thinking to themselves like, they do want to get that number 1 seed, but at the same time, Seattle, we're playing for our life right now. We're playing for a chance at the playoffs. we're playing for Geno Smith's job, we might be playing for
Yeah.
Pete Carroll's job. And Pete's never lost 5 in a row.
Never lost
Especially,
four in a row either. So
and especially at home, we've lost. I think we've lost back to back at home. So I don't think we've ever lost 3 straight at home. I'm not sure about that number, but this is a game where it would be a little bit unprecedented if we lost. As far as 8 straight wins against the Eagles, never lost 5 in a row, never lost this much at home before, and Pete
yeah.
Carroll, when his team needs to win in the regular season, usually gets the job done. So in that sense, we should win, right? But in the other sense, the Eagles are 10-3. They've dominated all season, and the Seahawks are 6-7, and they are reeling. And the Eagles do have us at pretty much every position as far as talent goes. Would you agree? Besides the secondary.
I would say wide receivers is close. You know, we
Yeah,
always
it's
we
close.
always ask that question, and the Seahawks always, I think, can go toe to toe with most wide receiver groups, and that's because 1 through 3, really, really good. I mean, JSN is our third best receiver. Jake Bobo is our fourth, and then
Yeah.
Jake Bobo could be a
Jake Bobo
solid.
disappeared the past couple weeks, by the way. Where has he been?
He did he not have a touchdown grab?
Not since I think the
No.
Rams game. I think he scored in the Rams game. It's been a while. I like
Yeah,
to see him get back involved.
Jake Bobo could be a solid wide receiver 3 for a lot of teams. He's our fourth. JSN could be a solid 2 for a lot of teams. He's our third.
Yeah.
So we have a
I
good
mean,
wide
JSN would probably be the Eagles' 3. He's probably better than Julio Jones, who's their 3, but I think their top 2 are probably better than our top 2. Um, tight
Tyler
end,
Lockett. It's
tight
actually
end, we
very
might have him though
it's a very
because
similar. It's a very similar wide receiver group actually. DK and AJ Brown,
and
and
AJ
then
Brown. Yeah,
Devontae Smith and Tyler Lockett. They play quite similarly.
I mean DK is like AJ Brown, but slightly less
Worse,
consistent.
yeah,
And Tyler is basically just an older version of Devontae. So yeah, you're right. They're
yeah,
very similar
very
profiles.
similar. So, yeah, this will be a good one. I think the Eagles definitely have the upper hand here. They should get this win. My bold take is the Seahawks will get it done, but
All
they
right.
burned me a few times in these last few weeks. Seahawks lose, it puts us in a really tough spot to make the playoffs. If we win, it's starting to look up. It definitely is. So we will see. Hopefully we can get a win. Hopefully we can make it close at home Monday Night Football. I will be watching, and let's see. Let's see if the Seahawks can get it done. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully Geno Smith has another Monday night legacy game. He's had a couple of those in the last year. So we'll see what happens for sure. Levi, got anything else for us?
I think that's all, guys. Go Seahawks. Hope we win. And you know what? If we don't, it's okay. It's been a fun season, and we're still a growing team. So
Darn tootin'. All right. Thanks,
go
guys.
Hawks.